Hi everyone, this is Debbie with you today, and I'm sharing another mini album that I did for our rubber buggy stamping and scrapbooking. Today we're going to make a large album, so it will hold a ton of pictures, and I hope you enjoy the process. We're going to start off with our supply list. We're going to need scissors, a craft knife. I like to use this little poker for taking my backing off my tape, or if you're die cutting, you can poke out the little extra pieces that didn't get cut. A pencil, a burnisher. We're going to use the Big Bite today if you want to add a hinge onto your cover. And of course you're going to need a scoreboard, and you're going to need a trimmer, and I keep a straight edge handy just in case I need to trim off any raw edges that are real close and I don't want to ruin a page or something like that. I think I mentioned to you before that I keep all my supplies in little baskets, and the reason I do that is because I want to stay organized, because this process tends to be a little messy. So we're going to need a glue gun and some glue sticks, scored tape, and I got several different sizes: 3/8 inch, 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and 5/8 inch. I also have a plastic gift card, an old one that I don't use, and I use that to trim off the edges of the score tapes, so I get a straight edge all the time. I have some tacky glue that I like to use, and I also like to use art glitter glue. I like to use, this one dries white, so I meant to get the clear, but I ended up getting the white, so this will go underneath several things, just to back them up, and maybe some binder clips. Okay, so that's it as far as your adhesives go, unless you I did forget one. I want you to add some foam tape to that, because we're going to build a little shaker box on the front of this album. Okay, so this album is going to be made with some beautiful paper. You're going to love it. But we're going to need, to start off, to cover the album, we're going to need some 12 by 12 inch smooth white cardstock. And I have 78 pound here. I usually use 65, but I ran out, so instead of running to the store, I just pulled this out of my stash. And then you're going to need 4 sheets of medium weight chipboard. And then we're going to make this album from the Georgia Blues, Prima Georgia Blues paper, and I bought 3 of these 11 by 4, or A4 paper packs for this album. There's 30 sheets in each. I don't know if we'll use all of it, but we'll get close, because like I said, this album is huge. And then I bought some, and you're going to need 50 sheets of 60 pound weight white cardstock. 8.5 by 11 will work. Okay, so that's it for the paper and cutting tools. Okay, my basket. See, I already told you I'm a mess. So I bought some ribbon that coordinates with the paper. Also, these are available at Rubber Buggy, and they're the Melange Art Pebbles, and they're like diamonds. They're really pretty, so anyway, we're going to use some of these. And I have a whole bunch of stuff in my stash here. I don't know how much of it we're going to use or how little. I have some Tim Holtz keyholes here. Also, just some spare parts that I had sitting in my stash. These are locks, more keyholes, and some keys, of course. I picked up some lace trim, 2 different kinds. I'm not sure how much we'll need, but I bought 2 spools, and you can get this at the craft store pretty cheap. Also, I have some art pebbles here. You can do so many things with this. You can color them, you can paint them, you can leave them clear. You can do a lot with them, so we'll be using these. And these also are available in Rubber Buggy Store. I got some just like antique buttons to go over the top of, they're brads actually. You know, we can embellish with those anywhere. Of course, the magnets. And these are 12. You get 12 of them. They're 1/2 inch by 1/16 inch. Another packet of brads. Some hinges. I bought these little game spinners. I don't know if I'll use them, but we'll see. They might come in handy to hold pages closed. Here's some label holders. Not sure if we'll use that either, but we'll see when we get there. And of course, we have a bunch of Prima embellishments that go along with the Georgia blues. They're coordinating. These are the 3x5 journaling note cards, and so they're really pretty too. I'll show you the paper here in just a second. I forgot to share it with you, but it's just really pretty. But anyway, we'll be using those. And then I got also the 4x6 note cards too. We'll be using these too for mats or picture mats and a lot of things. Also, the ephemera. These are really cool because they're clear. Some of them are clear, and then you've got some just the regular paper backing, and then a package of stickers. The Stay-It-In crystals, and here's a package of butterflies, the Prima butterflies that go with this collection. And then I got 3 packs of paper that also go with this collection. You might want more. I don't know how many we're going to use. We're probably going to use, knowing me, quite a few. So that's it for your embellishments or whatever you want to put on your album. So you can decorate it any way you want. This is just what I chose to decorate mine with. Alright, we'll put those away. Okay, so let's take a look at this paper on the inside, and I'll show you what I chose to use for a cover. Oh, that one's not open. Okay, so here's what they look like on the inside. They're gorgeous, and you get 4 sheets of each, and they're double-sided. So we're probably going to use both sides of each one of these papers. But anyway, I'm thinking I want to use this as the cover of my album. So you can choose to use whatever you want. It makes no difference what you choose. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And then here are some of the other papers that are in this pack. And like I said, I'm using the A4 paper pads, and these should work just fine. Our album is going to be 8.5 by 10, so it's going to be big, and it's going to have several cover components to it. So we'll get started on that here pretty quick. Okay, so anyway, that's our supplies, and you can add whatever you'd like to add to it, or take away whatever you don't want to use on it. Embellish it any way you want. You can make your own flowers. You can do whatever you choose to do. All right, thanks. Be back with the cover album. Hello everyone. I wanted to share how to build these flip pages for your album. We're going to have 4 pages that are flip pages. So what I did is I cut out 9 of these, and they are flaps, and they are 5 by 6.5, and then you're going to score on the 1/2 inch side. On the 5 inch side, 6 for a 1/2 inch. So you're going to need 36 of those flaps. And I went ahead and started putting them together, and here is how your waterfall will look. The waterfall base, I cut a base at 6.5 by 8.5, and I cut 4 of those because we have 4 waterfall pages. The main page is, let me see, the main page is 7 3/8 by 9 1/4, so that's this page here, and you're going to need 12 of those. So any way you like, any pattern you like, it's up to you, but try to match up the right side and the left side. So okay, so I'll show you how to make this page here. This page is not going to be a pocket page. We're just going to leave it completely, adhere it all the way down. So I started out by putting my base on, and just kind of centering it, leaving a little bit extra at the top, and just like about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. And then you start by adhering your flaps. Add some score tape, 1/4 inch of score tape all the way across where you scored it, and then line it up with the top of your base and stick it down. The next page, you're going to line up with the bottom of the first flap and the side here and stick it down, and then continue on until you have all your flaps adhered. We're going to get to the last page on the last flap. Now we're going to do it a little bit different. I stuck the we have the score tape on. I'm going to peel that off, and I'm going to stick it down like this and line it up with the last page, with the last flap, and then it's going to go like this. So you don't have that extra gusset here. You can just add another photo or add some journaling right there. So that will build your flip page. This is what it'll look like. Now you just want to add your pattern paper to the top, and I'm just going to glue mine down randomly. It doesn't matter how you put them on. I just they don't have to match, the flip pages don't have to match perfectly with each other, especially if you're using scraps, which that's kind of what I did, because it's just easier to use up some of these scraps, and then you don't run out of paper either. Alright, and then do that until you are completely done adhering these. Burnish them down and spread that glue behind. can tell what scraps I had most of. This album will be well worth it. There's 4 of these flat pages in this album, and each page can hold up to 72 photos, or each page can hold up to 18 photos. So if you have 4 of them, that'll give you 72 flaps to adhere photos to, or you can. I'm going to use some of mine I left mine blank on the back, and I'm going to use that for journaling, or maybe adding more photos. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. I tell you, I almost went through this whole, all 3 paper pads. The A4 paper pads for the Georgia Blues. This album takes up a lot of paper, but actually the A4 paper pads are perfect for this album because it's an 8x10. So you have, just a little bit. I think the papers in it are just a little bit bigger than 8x10, or like 8.5 by 11.5 or something similar to that. So you got you have a little bit of paper left, but not a lot. I love this paper right here. It's so pretty. I need to show you how to put those, attach the ribbons to the very back of this page. It is super easy, so I'm going to go with this one. Starting to run out of the 5/8 inch score tape, so I'm down to the 1/2 inch. So this album takes up quite a bit of score tape, quite a bit of paper, but it's so worth it. It'll be done shortly, and everybody will be able to add their photos to it, or you can. I mean, if you have an Etsy shop, you could probably sell it. It's up to you what you want to do with it. I just keep mine because it's better than having 12x12 ring bind albums around, because they take up so much room. Okay, so now that you have your flaps all adhered, that's what your page will look like. And I'm going to flip it over, and I've added 2 pieces of score tape here, 3/8 inch on each side, and then I'm going to peel that back, and I cut some ribbon, 6 pieces, and this ribbon is 1/8 of an inch wide, so the 3/8 inch is perfect. And I just lay these right next to each other. Try not to get over this piece of tape here, because then you won't be able to pull it off. right. And then do it again on the top. Top and the bottom is where the ribbon goes. And then you can tie your flap shut so you don't have to worry about them just flopping open. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add these pages into our book. That way we don't have to worry about them just hanging out and getting messed up. Alright, so the first one we're going to put in is the one with the pocket. And I punched used a half-inch circle and punched a half a circle up at the top, and then I adhered my score tape on 3 sides, and I think and that should hold it perfectly. So the score tape is really strong. Okay, so center it on your page. And then stick it down. So there's that page. And then for your pocket you can add another mat in there. I didn't mat mine on white cardstock. I just decided to just leave it plain. So you could use, that way you could mat a photo on each side since it's double-sided paper. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is going to be the very last page here. So we are going to adhere that. First I'm going to tie up these ribbons. Sorry, I have to turn it sideways to do this. And for now I'm not really going crazy on the bows, but I will tie them better later. I just want to hold the flaps in place. And go ahead and peel off your backing off your score tape. And I did exactly what I told you not to do, but I'll just pull that out from under like that. Okay. So now we're going to adhere this one to our very last pocket, very last page. So try to center it on there. Don't get too close to the fold where it opens and closes right here, or you'll have trouble opening and closing it. So this page, there are no pockets except for right here. So you can add a pocket in there. You can add a mat in there, just like this. Okay, on to the next page. Just set your album aside. me clean up a second here. Try to do this before I move on, or I just have a big mess and it's hard to work in. Okay, so the next page is a flip-up page, and it has 2 flaps. Let me see where it is. Right here. A flip-up page, and one page flips up and one page flips down. So I lost my tag and what size to cut this, but I can tell you really quick. Okay, so you want to cut your flaps 7 3/8 by 6 1/2, and then we're going to score at a half on the 6 1/2 side. So plug in your heat gun so it's ready to go. First thing we're going to do though is adhere some pattern paper to the front and to the back of the flaps, and then we'll add them into our photo album. So here's how we're going to do that. So for the very back sheet, I made a belly band, and we are going to need about so this is 7 1/4, so we're going to need a piece of paper 8 1/4, and go ahead and trim that 8 1/4. And go ahead and fold that over. Flip it over, and then fold. And then we are going to use our hot glue gun to glue these down. Like this. And I just centered it up as best as I could. And then this is what we're going to adhere to the front. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that now. Okay, and there you go. And erase your pencil mark if you still have it on there. And then flip your page over and glue that down. All right, so now you have that. And then we're going to take these flaps. We should have 2 of them, which I do. 6.5 by 7 3/8. And we're going to adhere 1 to the top. Line it up. Line it up. And again, using your hot glue, we're going to glue that down. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Okay. Alright, so now you have 2 flaps. You have a belly band in the center. And now we are going to adhere the front and the top, or the back and the top. And for the top I used this one, and we are going to add some magnets onto this too. So get your magnets out. So you're just going to need 2 magnets for this. And these things are really stuck on, but I have a magnetic board underneath my desktop here, so it helps hold these in place so I don't lose them while I'm trying to work. So for the first one, we're going to just adhere this top. Well, I think we'll put the magnet here. So go ahead and put your magnet on. And just center it wherever you need to. Yep. And I kind of like to add a little bit of tape to the top of these, just so, score tape, just so they stay on. Alright, now we're going to add this to the top. I'm going to cover it with our pattern paper. My glue's getting kind of thick. It's time for a new bottle. Okay, peel this off. Pull your backing off your tape. And then add your pattern paper to the top. And burnish this on. Okay, so the next step is to add your magnet. Let it catch on the front magnet. Add a little bit of glue to it. And then flip your page. And it should show you exactly where your magnet needs to go. So peel it off of there, add it to the bottom, add some tape, and peel your tape off, add your glue to the back of your pattern paper. when you're done with your album, you can go back around and glue down any loose corners that you might have, or edges. That's what I usually do, just go back around and make sure everything's tacked down really good. So get your burnisher out and then spread that glue back behind the pattern paper. See, and I'll have to come back and tack that down because it's just a little bit loose. Alright, so there you go, your magnet catches. And now we can glue our other two pieces. And I wanted to glue this one to the top. And then we're going to glue this one to the bottom. This paper is so pretty. It's kind of rustic, and it's a really pretty rustic. So you get a lot of different patterns in it, but they're kind of old and vintage and rustic. It's awesome. Alright, so glue that in. And there you go. You can add a couple of sheets of pattern paper for a photo mat. And your photo mats are going to be just a little bit smaller. So that's not the right size. This one is. You can add that in, and then maybe a couple from your little photo mat notebook, photo mat book. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our score tape to the back. Let me make sure this isn't a pocket page. And it's not, so we can go all the way around all four edges. I'm kind of making a mess. I'm getting a little bit unorganized here. I need to throw some things away. I like to add a piece to the center, and then a couple smaller pieces to each side of that. Okay, let me grab our album. Okay, so this page is going to go right here. This will be page 1 and page 2. And I'm going to teach you how to make this page here shortly. It'll be on our back cover. So go ahead and remove your square tape backing. And then center it in. I'm going to start at this edge because it's getting a little thick. Starting to get a little thick here. There we go. Alright, we'll come back in and we'll embellish that. Next page will be a belly band page. And don't forget you have a pocket here for another photo mat, or more than one photo mat if you want. It doesn't, I mean, it's going to hold a ton of stuff. So, okay, so we're going to go on to page, I'm going to call this page 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go on to page 4. Okay. So page 4 is a belly band. And I'm going to add this little brad to the center before I adhere my 2 strips. So the first strip is 11 by 2, and then the pattern paper strip is 9 by 1 3/4. So go ahead and add your cardstock strip to the center of your pattern paper to your page. And then fold over the extra. And make sure it's centered again. A little bit off, so let me redo that. Okay. All right, a little more hot glue. Both ends. And then we're going to adhere this to the center. But first, I want to add this brad to the center, and I'm just going to eyeball. Going to eyeball it in there, so you can measure it if you want to, but I'm just going to take a good guess, and I'm going to poke a hole in there. Let me see, let me use my poker. Right there. And then I'm going to add my brad in. Right there. Fold it over. You can add a piece of tape to that if you want to. I'm just going to use some score tape to tape this down. Pull off your backing. Okay, we're ready to put this down now, and you just want to center it. Leave a little margin on each side, and the top and the bottom. And there is your page. And now you can add your photo mats. You can use smaller ones. That's probably what I will do, is find a smaller one to use. So I have a lot of scraps, so it's not going to be an issue. But let's add some tape to the back of this and then put it in our album. Okay, hello everyone. I'm having a little trouble with my video camera today. It just ran out of memory, so I'm going to have to explain how to build this sheet. It is a double pocket sheet, and it's a super easy page to make. The back pocket is, it goes, let me see, I think it's it is 4.5, and then I measured 8 1/4, I believe 8.5, and then of course I folded the flaps over on the back and added my pattern paper, and then the second flap is, or second pocket is 2 inches by 8.5, and then again I folded the flaps over and glued them down, and then added my pattern paper. And I was explaining to you before I ran out of memory that most of the time I don't really measure these pieces right here on my pattern paper. I just leave a little bit of a border around the edges. I kind of lay a piece of paper down like this, and then I make a mark here, and then I'll make a mark for like for this, for the width. So and then I cut. I don't normally just, you know, come up with a bunch of precise measurements, because sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So, and then if you're measuring like 1/16 of an inch, it's kind of some people don't know how to measure that precisely, and it can be annoying, and you can also make mistakes that way. So anyway, I'm just giving you a little heads up. But anyway, when you're done with your pockets, you can add some journaling cards, And I found this piece of vellum in the back of one of the flower packages, so I thought it was really pretty. So, and then you can add some journaling cards like that. Let's get some tape on the back of this and add it to our book. Sorry about that, running out of juice there. It just, sometimes it just doesn't work out exactly the way you want it to, but we'll see if we can get it going again. Kind of had a rough week. Probably should have waited to make this video, but that's okay. Had the flu over the weekend. It was really not that much fun. So I'm still feeling a little puny today, but thought I was better yesterday, and I guess I wasn't. So this page, I don't believe is a pocket page, but let me look just to make sure. It is not. So we can adhere our tape all the way around. And if you want to make it a pocket page, you can. It makes no difference. All of them can be made into pockets. If you want to make pockets at the top, we'll have pockets at the sides anyway, so a top pocket sure won't hurt anything. Okay. So let's peel this tape, the backing. When I say peel the tape, I mean the backing, not the tape itself, but I know you know what I mean. So when I started to, I embellished a few of these pages, but when I started to embellish them, and you know, I told y'all you could embellish them any way you want to, use whatever you like to use, but I always like to use bling on mine, so I found a couple rolls of bling on a roll and added those in. So our next page goes here. I told you I mistakenly put this page in. It was supposed to go on this flap, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. You can actually do whatever you like. You don't have to put them in order. You can mix them all up. It makes no difference. Okay. Alright, my burnisher is missing, so I'm not going to worry about it. Around here somewhere. Probably on the floor, from my luck. But I'm not going to worry about it too much. Alright, so that page is done. We've got 2 pages left. And then we can start embellishing our book. So the final page, or the next page, is going to be a little flip page. And it's got a couple of pockets on it, and it's really cute. So we also have to still finish up our cover of our album. Alright, so here is our little flip page. And I believe that's the page itself. Let me make sure. Oh no. got it together now. Okay, so this is the page itself. And these pages measure 7 1/4 by, should be 9 1/4. Yep, 9 1/4. All right, so we're going to build this page first. Start off first by making a little flip out, and so we're going to set that aside for a minute, and we are going to make this little page here for our pocket. And it is, the flap is 7 by 7 3/4, and you're going to score that at 1/2 inch, and then score again at 1/4 inch in from that 1/2 inch. So let me measure where that is. So score it at 6 1/4, and then 6 1/2. And that will give you a little binding on the side. So let's add our covers. On the outside, we're going to add this cover, but we're going to need to put a magnet in here too. So we want it to stick to the, stay closed so it doesn't flop around. So I'm going to add a magnet. I'm just going to add it at a spot here. Just like that. Then I'm going to add my pattern paper. Let's put a little score tape on that first, just so it sticks down. Kind of like to make sure it's going to stay there. Peel that off, peel the backing off, and then we don't want to add this yet. I messed up. Okay, so we're going to add our pocket first. I'm going to have to wipe some of this off. Our pocket will need to add a piece of 1/4 inch score tape at the very bottom of the other side of this pattern paper. So I'm just going to measure this real quick. And this is going to be a little tricky. Sorry, didn't mean to mess this up, but just stick it down like that, all the way across the bottom. Just like that. I'm going to get a little glue on my fingers, but it doesn't matter. Peel off the backing. And then add this to the very bottom. Just like that. And you're going to need a little bit hanging over the edges. So fold that over. Fold this over. Get your glue gun. Even though we already have glue there, the glue gun will hold it in place. I lost my train of thought when my camera gave up. Alright, so now we can stick this down on the cover. cover of our flap here. And alright, now we're going to stick, I just measured this randomly, but it looks like it needs a little bit trimmed off, so I'm going to trim off just a tiny bit. Alright, now that's going to go on the front of our flap, just like that. Like I said, I don't measure these all the time. It's just easier just to make sure that I get the best fit on there. So you can do what you like, but that's just the way I do it. If you need precise measurements, that's fine too. Funny, because you'd think I'd be pickier about it, but I've spent my life measuring precise measurements in my profession, so this doesn't seem to be quite as detailed as some of the stuff I've had to do before, but that's okay. So we got our magnet in, got our cover on. Now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to add this to the inside, but we're also going to put another pocket on here first before I start adding glue. So this pocket is going to be 3 1/4 by 7 1/4. So we're going to add this to the front. Put some score tape at the bottom of your page, just like that. Peel the back off. Add this, kind of center it on there best you can, and then stick it down. Flip it over and fold these. And then hot glue them down. This way you know they're going to stay put. I bought some glue sticks. I'm not impressed with them. They're kind of really stringy, so. Okay, and now we're going to add this to our front. Oh, this isn't big enough. So I think I'm going to cut another piece from my scraps. So I have a ton of scraps in here left over. So we are just going to go. It doesn't even matter which paper I use. So I think I'm just going to use that one because it looks like it's close. And it's not. Alright, this one looks a little closer. We'll do this one. Well, maybe I'll just piece a couple on there. Just not a big deal. I'll go like this, and then like that. I hate to cut another whole piece of paper, but I'm going to because I just don't like what's going on here. We'll just go like this. And here's what I was talking about. When I measure paper, sometimes I just make a mark and get something close. I don't know why. What happened to my other paper there, but it makes no difference. It's easy enough to cut another piece. There we go. Perfect. Now I don't have to worry about my album looking funny. So let's glue this down. There we go. Alright, let's add it in here now onto our flap. I can hear my puppies outside my door. They want in, but I know they'll just make a bunch of noise and then they'll get into trouble. So I'll have to kick them out. And all right, so there you go. Here is the inside pocket. So you can add a journaling card if you like, a couple of them. Up to you what you put in there. You could put pocket. You could put there you go. All right, so the next step is to adhere this, but we're going to use a glue gun to put that on, and actually we want it to fold right there. Yeah, on this one, you want to fold on the 1/2 inch. So center it as best as you can. Fold it on the 1/2 inch. And then glue it in. Okay, and then there you go. There's your 1/4 inch. So that you can stuff a bunch of stuff in there. A bunch of paper mats, picture mats, memorabilia, whatever you like. Okay, we still have a magnet to put in, so we're going to flip that over, and our magnet is about right here. So if you just let your magnet go, it's going to catch. And there you go. Just tape it down. And now we're ready to add this to our book. So add your score tape. And I don't believe this is a pocket. I think there's only a few top pockets, and this isn't one of them. I tried to just make the side pockets really deep so that I didn't add too many top pockets to this album, but just because I didn't want it to get any bulkier, because right now it's probably, I mean, once you add your photos, it's going to be at its maximum thicknesses here. So it looks like I'm going to end up using almost all of this 1/2 inch, and I used whole 5/8 inch roll. The majority of the 3/8 inch roll, and so I have quite a bit of the 1/4 inch left though. Alright, let's get this in our book. Let me get our book up here. So that's going to be the last of the pocket pages. Let's peel off our backing. I'm trying to improve myself on these videos. I've only done a few, so I hope to get better at it, and I hope you guys will stick it out with me until I do. So, okay, here we go. We're going to just stick this one down, and I'm going to use this edge right here. I'm going to use this edge right here to line up my page. Alright, so that gives me plenty of room on the inside here. And now we are on the very last page. So when this opens up, you can add a photo in here, or journaling cards, or you can add a big photo, or you can add another photo mat in here like this. Anyway, so I added a couple of journaling cards on the inside, and I'll add a couple bigger ones to the outside, like this. And this one. And then call it good. And we are on the very last page, and let's get it done. Then we can start embellishing. I'll have to show you how to finish up the outside cover and put on our closure, and then we are pretty much done. Then you can time to embellish. All right, here we go. Okay, so these pieces are my flaps, and for the whole album I cut out 8, but just for this page you'll need 2, and they're 7.5 by 9 3/4, and then I scored it a 1/2 inch on each side. And the main page here is going to have 2 pockets, so we're going to go ahead and do those first. So that's the small. All right, we're going to use this side of the paper. And the first pocket is a big pocket, and it is 6 by 8 3/4. And we are going to do this the same way we did all of our other pockets. And that's by adhering tape, score tape at the bottom, just like this. Cutting it off. And then we're going to peel the backing off. Center it on the back page, fold over, and then glue. Okay. Now flip it over, and we need to cover this. So I covered it with, now I can't find it. Here's 1, 2, 4. All right, we're going to have to cut another piece because I misplaced mine. So it's not going to be a big deal, but 3 pages, 3 A4 paper pads. I have about 10 sheets left of each page. So, okay, so we don't really need to go all the way down on this one. So we're just going to go about 3/4 of the way and not waste the paper. So I'm just going to mark it where I think I want it to be and then trim. When I was going through all these pages a couple of days ago, I swore I had everything trimmed and cut, but apparently I missed a few, so no biggie. I just try to get it done, all of the cutting and the trimming done before I start doing my video, because it's such a long process anyway. And these can get really long and drawn out, and I don't want you to lose complete interest in how to make this album, because this album is so worth it. And I'm trying not to, I hope I'm not boring you, but just wanted to, I hope you give it a try. I really do. It turns out gorgeous, so. And you can buy everything you need from the Rubber Buggy. She has everything, and if you can't find something there, I'm sure she can order it in for you. All you have to do is send her an email or talk to one of the gals that works there, and they will get you set up. Okay, I gotta make sure that's straight because it looks a little crooked. Okay, there we go. So we're going to add our next pocket on now, and do the same thing we did with the first pocket. Add our score tape to the bottom. Peel the backing off. If you guys could see my room right now, you would laugh. I have got kind of a mess, but I'm not used to working in a mess, but I try to keep it clean. So I'll know what I'll be doing right after this video gets uploaded. Alright, flip it over. Fold the excess over. And we're going to glue again. Alright, let's add our pattern paper to the front. Oh, I got glue on my fingers everywhere. Hope you can't hear my husband hollering for the dog. Yep, probably can. Alright, and that one was a little too big, but no big deal. Alright. So, for this one, we are going to add some lace to it. I liked this, so this is what I'm going to use to cover that. So nobody's going to know anyway that it was too long. So you're going to need 2 pieces of this, same length. One for the top, one for the bottom. Scrapbookers are pretty good at figuring out exactly how to fix their mistakes. Cover it up or glue it. All right. Okay. Now we're going to add our flaps to the back of this. Well, actually to the front, but so set this aside for a second. Fold your flaps on your scored line. And then let's burnish those down just to make them a little flatter, because they're starting to get a little thick on that back page. So we're going to use some magnets on this one too. So let's go ahead and add our pages, our flaps to our page. So you're gonna, this is what it looks like on the front, and this is what it looks like on the back. And so tuck it in to that score line, and then let's add some glue. Kind of thick right in here, so alright, now for the next side, we're going to add it like, we're going to overlap it like this. And then tuck that in as far as you can into that score line. And then glue it down. Alright. Now, I'm going to show you what I ended up doing. And the reason, oops, got a little too tight in there. Okay, so the reason I did this is because I messed up, and I was going to die cut these, and the die cuts didn't turn out right. They were too delicate, and they were tattering, so I cut them off, and I punched just some strips, and I'm going to glue those down here with some 1/4 inch score tape. We're also going to add some magnets onto this page, just so it stay closed. And we're going to add another one onto, some more score tape onto this side. Oh, I got them too tight. Let me see if I can loosen those up. I'm going to try not to cut through my flap here, but cut that a little bit. Just cut that glue. And then I'll turn it loose. Yeah. Alright. That seemed to do the trick. Okay. Might have to hot glue those down, but not sure yet. We'll just see. Alright, so now let's pull this backing off this tape here. And add these strips. Yeah, I didn't like the way it looked die cut, and I really wanted to do some die cutting in this one, but and share some with you, but it just didn't hold up. So especially with all the flipping, because it's so big to make that there's a lot of flipping and moving, and it just did not want to do it. So alright, so let's add this piece here. Just like that. And then we'll trim off the edges. Trim off the ends. And I like the way this turned out better, especially with the lace. So this is a Martha Stewart punch, and it's a, I believe it's called a lace punch. I'm not sure though. It's a lace border punch. Anyway, any punch will work. I just don't recommend die cutting anything with this one. Okay, so for this one, again, we're gonna need some magnets. Let's go ahead and add our front cover. Okay, these are our front covers. And I'm going to have to trim it down because, like I told you, I decided not to use the die cutting in it, so it made this just a little bit too long. So I'm sure that one's too long too. So let's trim them down. Alright, that works. Alright, so now let's add some glue to this one, to the very front cover. And then we're going to put our magnets on the inside of this so that they stay together. Right. Hello everyone, it's me again. I had some more issues with my camera cutting out on me for some reason, so it looks like I'm gonna have to break out my video cam here pretty quick. But anyway, we were working on the last page of our album, and it cut off at this point when we had just gotten this covered. So the only things I did that you missed out on was just covering the front page and the inside pages, and we had already done all of this, so the majority of it was done. We just had a couple things left to do, so cover this inside page and this inside page. And so now I'm going to do a final review. I'm going to share the whole album with you so that you know what it looks like. I also didn't share with you covering up the outside of the album. Most of it was done, but I wanted to show you just a couple of the panels. And you want to cover these two side panels before you add your closure here. So anyway, so that is what the side looks like with your closure in it. Completely done. So let's go take a look at this album. It's gorgeous. It turned out beautiful. It's really heavy. But anyway, so this is how I embellished my front cover. I used some of the flowers, and looks like I need to glue that back in. And I also, and the butterflies, I used some of the gems, the Satin Crystals gems, the clear ones, and several of the blue ones. I also made a shaker box for the front. I bought this frame at Hobby Lobby, and you can just add foam tape to the back of this frame. And then I used one of these journaling cards to adhere it to the background. And then in the back, I added some sequins and some seed beads in there. And then just adhered the foam tape to the note card. So it was super simple to make, but I had showed you on the video I had created earlier. It's just too bad my camera cut out. But anyway, so I hope you understand that. If you don't, just let me know. Leave a comment below this video, and I will make sure that you get directions for that. So I also used one of these clear ephemera stickers. It's not really a sticker, it's just a piece of acetate that has a pattern on it. So anyway, that's how I put that there. And I thought about doing some mixed media on this, but I changed my mind. So I thought it looked pretty just the way it was. So let's go on the inside. And I think I'm just going to show you half of this album because the other half is exactly the same. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. This side flips up, and then this side flips up. This album's hard to control here. And I just kind of stuck this in there just for you know, a place to add another journaling card. But here is our fold-out pages. Anyway, so that's what they look like finished. And I went ahead and I made some more of these little envelopes like this. I made some more envelopes, and then I added some journaling cards into them. And then I glued two sides down, and then I added another journaling card here. So the other flap, we have our pockets here, and I didn't do anything to this flap. I just left it. I added a little bit of bling to the side, and then that was it. But we have journaling cards in here, and this isn't a pocket page. So anyway, here's where you can see I used the dies, and these dies they just come apart, so I didn't want to do it again. So I did it on a couple of sheets, but I decided it wasn't going to be a good idea. So, and remember, we added the magnets in here. You probably, let me see, I think that part got cut off, but there are magnets in here. One here, but it's on the inside, and one here. And so it closes shut with a magnet. And then here's our flip page, and it's got the pocket in the top. So you can add a photo mat into it. And I didn't really embellish these pages at all. I just left them plain. So if you want to embellish them, you can. I just tied them with a bow. I thought they looked just perfect, just like that. So I'm going to pull that out. And then here's the pocket that we made. And it's got some photo mats in it. And then here's our next page, the flip up page that we made, and I embellished it with this butterfly and a little bit of bling, and I made another little envelope for it, added a journaling card to it, and then used one of the ephemera tags that are in the package from this collection. And then I didn't embellish anything on here because I wanted to put photos here. And same for the bottom half. I don't know if you can see the bottom half, but anyway. And then I didn't really embellish this page either, except for with this little brad. So just added some some postcards in here. And a photo mat. And then here's our double pocket page, and I added a little bit of ephemera here, and then some more journaling cards and note cards from the collection. Alright, so I don't know if I can get this one in here. This middle page is our little flip out. Remember, it has the pocket here, and I ended up using one of these little ephemera tags, and this pulls out, and then added a flower and a butterfly, and then another journaling card here, a note card, a mat, a photo mat, but you can also add 2 4x6 photos here on the main page. And then we've got this little pocket here, and added a couple of journaling cards there, and a little bit of ephemera. Another flip page. This is another flip page. It's the last one, and on this side of the album. And then I duplicated the very front cover page. So added another envelope with a card, and then this card pulls out, but you can always add another photo here. And then this one flips open, and then these two are pockets, a top pocket and a bottom pocket. So, and then these close with magnets. And I added my bling again to this side right here. And then, of course, another one of these. And I wanted to show you the center of this album because you didn't really get to see it. But it's got a little pocket too. And so all I did was added a little, the strip to cover the back binding. And then added a pocket here Added the ephemera. Made a long bookmark tag. And then 2 note cards. And you can stuff a bunch of stuff in here because that pocket is pretty good size. So, and of course this side is exactly the same. This page starts the new side. Here's the flip waterfall page. Of course, here's the pocket page on the top. And remember, all of these are pockets. Every one of these pages here are pocket pages, so you can add a photo mat in there. Then here's our little flip up and our flip down with a belly band in the middle. And it's magnetic also. Then our belly band running down the center. Little envelope. Did I say that already? Butterfly and ephemera. Another flip page. This flip page was supposed to be here, remember, and I messed it up. But anyway, it turned out just fine. So, and then here's our double pocket page, and it's got several journaling cards in here, note cards. And then I found this piece of vellum in one of the packages for the either the flowers or the ephemera. I'll probably add on to this a little bit and just add some more flowers and butterflies. But here's a duplicate of that that little belly band. I think I glued this one in though, so you can't pull it out. But these little stickers came from the ephemera package, and then a butterfly, and this is a pocket. So I added some postcards into that. And then this one is a pocket also. This is the one I had so much trouble with. And then here's another photo mat, and then you can add 4x6 photos here. You can mat them if you want. And then this one's magnetic also. And then this is another, this is the very last inside cover page. So that is it for this album. And I hope you give this album a try. Even if you don't do it the way I did it, you should give it a try because it turns out gorgeous and you're going to enjoy it. So, thanks so much for joining me and putting up with my issues with my camera and my lighting and all kinds of things going on. Anyway, it holds together pretty tight, so thank you for joining me. Bye-bye, till next time. I have another video soon. Bye-bye.